So this was the product that kind of started it all. I bought the brand for $1 because they weren't selling it. And then I tried to sell it, and I couldn't sell it either. So I said, well, who's the idiot now? And anyway, came up with many variations. VSL, direct sales, I tried nothing performed consistently. And then I was chatting with someone who worked for Procter & Gamble, and I said, you're a hair expert, not that I have any. How would you sell this thing? So she came up with a decision tree profile. This was the very first one. And she said, this is how you sell it. And I said, cool. So I sat on it for a while, and I said, how do you implement this damn thing? And that's just for straight hair, and then there was one whole map for curly, and a whole map for kinky, and coily, and whatever other hair types there are. So I was like, I think this might work. How do you do it? So I realized at that point, rest in peace, and no more static marketing. Everything was going to be dynamic from this point onwards. So that was started the adventure of, there's a bit of a headline missing here, but essentially the point of this slide I'm trying to make is that knowing where someone is and how close they are to buying makes a massive difference as to what you're going to say to them. And putting them in the right category is really, really important. It's even better if they put themselves in a category, because then it's their category. Right, so this was the decision tree that came up. It looks very simple. I'll explain what's happening behind the scenes. How happy is your hair? Get a personalized hair analysis in another 30 seconds. I've innovated this further now. So if you're in things like relationships, investment advice, 30 seconds doesn't work. You say, we come back to you in 3 days. And you actually don't deliver the final result. And then you email them the result.
Are you happy with your hair?
Yeah. Well, when I put it on, it all came off. So the first question, we can also do chatbot style. So it's like, hey, let's not be strangers. I'm your hair trachologist. What's your name? And let's just quickly run through what it looks like, and then you select. So 4 answers here. This one is a checkbox question. Probably the most powerful question in terms of grabbing data. And I'll explain why. Because it allows someone to select more than one answer. The more answers they select, the more problems they're revealing about the specific issue. So this one here is, which of the following apply to you? I can learn a lot about someone by giving them the ability to select more than one answer. The interesting thing is that this question creates 32 combinations. So there's 32 market segments from one question. That's another 32 market segments. But they're multiplying now. All right, so I'll leave that thought with you, and I'll explain in the end what happens. And then you get your age, and finally, it personalizes the actual result. The whole thing is personalized. I would have picked curly hair, so therefore I'm only getting content about curly. Baldy, it doesn't exist. It's got my name there. And basically what it did is it gives a personalized recommendation, but it's framing the product recommendation based on the questions and answers that I've selected previously. And therefore that was the final product recommendation. This made the funnel work consistently. But so much so that you can actually copy it, because it's dynamically generating based on thousands of combinations. And you can have it running in front of your competitors for weeks on end. There's one funnel that I helped a client with. They get about 200,000 leads a month. It's been doing that for the last 2.5 years. In fact, their funnel works so well that on the page where they grab your name and email, it says form. And that's because I wrote form for them, and I said, hey, go and change some copy, and someone started the traffic, and still getting 60% opt-in. They don't want to touch it. So much for being a good copywriter. All right.